Hi everyone, I'm Joey.
Hi everyone, I'm Dylan. So today we'll be talking more about the highly anticipated launch in the Bayshore area called Vela Bay.
So everyone is asking the same question about Vela Bay. Is there too much supply in this area? Today we are going to break down this Vela Bay in a very simple way, the location, the supply risk, and how to identify the best units. So by the end of this video, you know exactly whether this is a project worth considering.
Okay, so some of the content that we'll be going through today. First thing first, of course, we want to know the location and also the project info, some of the floor level and all. And also, I think the most important thing that we want to go through now is actually in the area, right? There'll be 10,000 new residential homes. So I think most of the people, their concerns will be, is there going to be an oversupply of units over there? And also because Vela Bay is one of those that is facing the sea, we want to know how does this sea view actually help you in terms of your purchase. And last thing is, of course, what are the sweet spots in the development that we can consider, whether it's for own stay or whether it's for investment.
All right, so let me walk you through why this Vela Bay location is actually very interesting. So we are located right over on this side here, this one. And we are right next to the Bayshore MRT station. So Bayshore MRT station is actually our Thomson East Coast Line. All right, so this Thomson East Coast Line, it links to all the colors very easily. So this is actually a new Bayshore precinct where there will be a new transformation coming out in this area. Later I'll share with you. Then towards the left side over here, we have the whole Tanjong Ru side, the whole Telok Kurau side, where we have a lot of eateries and also our Tanjong Katong, there's a lot of food. So actually, the east side, they say that the Easties are actually the foodies also because there's a lot of food in the area. We are also having this existing underpass that you can walk towards our East Coast Park. So it, in a way, it also promotes healthy lifestyle. In future, there will be another overhead bridge. Later I'll show you on that. So who will be attracting, where will the people be coming from, right? Actually in the east area, a lot of people like this kind of lifestyle vibes, right? We have a huge pool of buyers. People from the east side, the Changi Airport, and also people in the town area. Because from here, you go to town is super easy. About 15 minutes drive, you reach the town. And then about 10 to 15 minutes, you reach the Changi Airport also.
So one thing in that location, I think, Joey, is there a lot of HDB there?
It's a lot of a private enclave area, right? So when you pass by the ECP, right, the more popular and familiar one would be the Costa del Sol, the Bayshore, and then the Bayshore Park also. So when you pass by the ECP, very familiar, you will see that, right? So the next one coming up will be the whole of this plot over here.
The Bayshore transformation
precinct, yeah. So this is what is coming up, the Bayshore plan. So, you know, this is our actual location. Our actual location. So right in front of us is the ECP already. So that means we have unblocked view.
Okay.
We are right facing towards the sea. If you are on somewhere inside here, right, you won't be facing the sea already. As in, you won't be able to have a
sea view.
And then we will have this new Central Park. So they are going to put in a lot of like linear parks and new Central Park greeneries. So this is actually a linear park over here, and then a new Central Park where there will be an overhead bridge that you can walk directly over to our East Coast Park. Yeah, directly. This would be another transit corridor, priority corridor, where only buses will pass by there. That means you have walking area, very safe walking area, and only buses will go through here. So let's say if you drive, you need to drive like this or go from here like this.
So it's like a car-like area over there? Car-like area.
Correct. There will be a lot of food and eateries. And on this side here, this is actually a new 30,000 square meter Safra. This one is called the Bayshore Safra. You know Tampines Safra?
Yeah.
This would be
bigger,
double the size of Tampines Safra. So a lot of things and amenities, places where you can go within this area. Then next to it is actually another integrated transport hub. On the master plan itself, this is actually a zone for blue color land. So this blue color land, right, it will be an integrated transport hub whereby they will have bus interchange, they will have a shopping mall over there. This will be some residentials as well. Right over all on this, right, these are all BTOs. Yeah, in future, this will be all BTOs. And then within 1 kilometer, our school will be Temasek Primary School. Next to the MRT station. So this MRT station is really, we have one of the side gate that you can walk out directly. Is the MRT gate already. Go down directly is the control station.
Very good accessibility.
Yeah. Okay, so this will be our Bayshore plan coming up, also with the new healthcare facilities.
So now maybe we'll talk more a bit on the project itself. So I think in terms of the project wise, if you can see, we have total of 2 blocks, 31 story, and total is 515 units. We have 2 basement car park, and just one thing to highlight is we have 258 lots. So I think one of the question people will ask nowadays is
it enough or not?
Yeah, is it enough or not? Because 258, I think if you do the math, it's probably about 50%, about
For
50%.
515 units, right?
Yeah. So later we will touch more a little bit on these car park lots, and then we can address it to you guys going forward. Okay, so back to this, right? If we see based on the unit distribution, you can see the total amount of units here is all separated out over here. So the important thing that we want to take note is that because just now we mentioned about the car park lots, right? And we only have 50%. But if we do the calculations on the 1 and 2, right? If you can see over here, actually it's about only 40 over percent. And if you add in the 3-bedroom, the smaller 3-bedroom.
Smaller 3-bedroom compact.
Yeah, why we want to add the 3-bedroom compact? Because generally, I think 3-bedroom compact are lesser in terms of car usage, generally.
Because mostly are also investors who will go for the 3-bedroom, who want a 3-bedroom and yet don't want to go for a bigger quantum.
Yeah, so generally, if we add up this column of units, this percentage, we are looking at almost about 50%. 50% really of the development, right? And what we are trying to say is if we have probably about 50% that is considered of 1, 2 and the smaller trees, generally these are the people that seldom drive.
Yeah.
So the car park lot, I would say, the only ones that wants the car park lot will be the premium to the penthouse people, which is the other units that is balanced. But of course, that being said, I think the biggest concern will be 1 lot, I don't think should be a big problem. But if 2, maybe, there might be something that we need to think about.
Like the second car.
Like the second car lot. If you want a second car lot,
first
maybe.
car shouldn't be a problem.
Yep, correct.
Yeah, so maybe the smaller units, mostly of them are rented out. So tenants will also be looking at, downstairs still already got 1 MRT, so it's quite convenient even if you don't drive. Okay, so this would be how this Vela Bay will look like. So this is our entrance going in, our entrance for the car. We have units towards here that will be facing towards the sea view. So all these units here, right, you can see the sea view from here. So actually 72% of the units are facing sea view. So this side facing will be towards the landed view facing. Only this side will be pool view. Then there will be future residential on this side.
So on the left side is Costa del Sol.
Costa del Sol over
Costa
here,
del Sol.
then the Bayshore, then the Bayshore Park on the other side. So I want to also show you this side gate over here, which you walk out directly to the MRT station. Yeah.
Sheltered all the way.
Sheltered all the way. So the moment you come out from your side gate, right, it's straight away the escalator going down to the Bayshore MRT already. So it's very convenient.
Okay, so one thing that we want to take note is over here, there is a future development, this part here, right? And over here is the sea view, correct? So the concern that we realize is that this future development might block your views over here. Especially these 2 sides of the development. So if let's say, for example, you are looking at a unit there, you just have to be very aware what is going through like the building phase or whatever, and maybe you have to sell if you are intending to look for a shorter term investment period.
Okay, so the question is, will the upcoming supply affect your resale price? So there will be 10,000 new homes in this whole new Bayshore precinct. Then what is announced is actually the 2 BTO launches that in 2024. Total, there will be 7,000 BTOs over there. Then for private residential, there will be about 3,000. So this will be where the new BTO is. So over here, right, this BTO is actually under the Plus scheme.
Oh, which is how many years?
Which is MOP 10 years.
Okay.
That means they cannot sell after 10 years. And the main thing is also they cannot rent out whole units. That means in future, you will not have this competition from the HDBs that they can rent a bigger space at a lower price. Yeah.
So I think one of the main concerns or maybe main thoughts that maybe you'll be hearing a lot of people say in the market is, there is a lot of upcoming HDB there that can help to push up your prices or buy over from you your property that if you go into this Vela Bay. But one thing we want to understand very clearly is also because of what Joey mentioned just now, the MOP is 10 years. So if you see, right, probably these people, right, can only sell in 2039. So one thing we have to ask ourselves is today, if we go into Vela Bay, are we looking at 5 years? 10 years, 15 years time frame.
You can hold long term lah, or you can flip many times and you still haven't 203.
Yeah. So it really depends on what is your investment time frame. For example, if today you are seeing a 5-year, then this supply or these BTO people will not be able to do anything to buy over because they haven't even sell. So we have to be very clear. One thing is, when are you looking to sell? If not, this thing actually doesn't really concern you if you are looking in the short time frame.
We will also have this mixed development coming up, one stop away at Bedok South Station. It will yield about 1,280 homes over there. So actually, according to one of the analysis in the market, right, they says that it will be likely to buy in the land plot at 1150 per square feet per plot ratio to 1250 per square feet per plot ratio. You know, actually this is like lower than
Vela Bay
was 1388 per square feet per plot ratio.
Okay.
So why is it cheaper? Because they have the components of like more and then also the interchange and all this. So all these, right, are extra construction costs, extra labor costs, material costs, plus they cannot sell to consumer. As you cannot sell like residential units to a consumer, you cannot earn from there lah. But later part, how are they going to manage that? That one is we do not know yet as of now. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that it will take more costs to build this development. So this will be the site over here, a blue site that will be one stop away. So from here, this our Bayshore station to our Bedok South station is about 880 meters. So it is walking distance. So in a way, if you are staying at the Vela Bay, you can also walk towards here to go to the mall as well. So that is your future place to go for groceries and eateries lah.
So I think one of the main issues or concerns that we were talking about was oversupply, right? So this is definitely part of the supply that is going to come up in the area. This integrated development is going to have 1,280 homes.
Yeah.
But all in all, there'll be about 3,000 private
homes
residential. So I think the biggest concern that buyers will have is that in this whole area with 3,000 new private residential, will be an oversupply in future. So honestly now, as a buyer, when you go into this area with so much unit, the stress is on who actually? Actually, is the seller stressed or the buyer will be more stressed at this point in time when they know that there's 3,000 unit?
Seller.
Generally are the sellers. So in this case, who is the seller? The developer, right? Yeah. And also one thing we want to realize is this plot of land, it was just announced for sale, this plot of land, just before Vela Bay launch. So the question is that if today you're a developer and suddenly when you're about to launch and then there's another new plot that's coming up for sale, I think there's a bit of worries on the developer side also, right? We look at this whole scenario in another angle by looking at another area that has also another strong oversupply issue, which is the River Valley area. If we know recent times, right, there's 4 launches that were sold at River Valley. First one being River Green, then Promenade Peak, Zion Grand, and then lastly is River Modern. So if we see, right, for example, we take River Green, the first one, right, was sold. Actually, the sales of River Green did quite well, right? Very well, right? But the next two, Promenade Peak and Zion Grand, actually, their sales is okay, but they didn't do as well as River Green. And then the last one that we had over there was River Modern, right? So River Modern, it was about 90% sold, right? 90+% sold. The question now is why River Modern can sell at 90%? Because of one very, very unique selling point that they have, which is called the USP of the river. Because why? This river, it cannot be changed,
Yeah, people go there is because of the river.
Yeah, because
they
the
just
river.
Want the view lah.
Yeah, this attribute is attached together with this development. Whereas like maybe PP or Zion Grand, we don't have such a thing. So end of the day, when we go into a certain development, I think the USP is also very important that we have to consider. So how does it relate to Vela Bay? In this Bayshore precinct, actually Vela Bay is the only one that has this sea view.
Because actually, you see this integrated development over here, right? It's on the inside. So on the inside, that means you may not have like unblocked sea view as compared to Vela Bay. So the other developments that have sea view in this area, actually not a lot. For the older ones, probably like Costa del Sol, then the Bayshore. Then if let's say you want to compare the newer ones, then will be Seaside Residence. Seaside Residence. So they will have like unblocked sea view like this. But in this new development here, the new precinct, there's actually not much supply already.
Yeah, so I think the concern, like we mentioned just now, is that it's as a seller, because now as a developer is the seller, right? They might be able to give you a more attractive price because they also know of these things that is coming up, right? But the next biggest concern is that today, if you buy in, one day you become a seller in the area also, right? You also will be faced with this thing. So the question is, what's the difference between you now and you next time, right? Today you buy, you maybe can go in at a better advantage price, attractive price. But when you sell, you might be thinking, if I have a 3,000 unit there competing with me, I also might face an issue in selling. That is why the importance of having this USP of the sea view will be an advantage to you going forward in this whole precinct, because like what Joey mentioned, there is not so many developments there with this sea view. And I think the last launch in this area is what? How many years ago?
25 years
25 years ago already.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys have any burning questions or any analysis that you want us to do, please just scan our QR code, drop us a text or a message to let us know, then we can help you to do in our next video.
Continuing to the next question is, how will this sea view that we have been talking about affect your resaleability?
Okay, so we look at these two projects, Livia and Palette. So how did we derive this project? Actually, we just took a project that is 5 years apart. Okay, why later we will show you, because at Bayshore area, there's also another two projects that is 5 years apart and with a sea facing. So what we want to do now is we want to see, without sea facing and with sea facing, is there really a difference in premium or buyers are willing to pay more? So two projects, Livia, TOP in 2011 and Palette in 2016.
5 years apart.
5 years apart.
Yeah.
What we want to focus, first thing is they are 5 years apart, okay? Because we want to see the price difference.
Yeah.
And the next important thing that we want to see is the price that they went in during the TOP and now. What is the gap? Okay, so we can see first one is 3%, second one is 18%. The important thing to note here is this 18%. We just remember this 18% because a 5 years apart project without any sea view will have about around 18% gap in terms of their pricing. Okay, so now we see another one, which is Bayshore and Costa del Sol. Take note, they are also 5 years apart. But of course, Costa del Sol, you have a very nice sea view, right? That you can see the whole. And Bayshore, obviously, we don't have this.
Because it's on the inside, more on the inside of the land, just like the new plot coming up, the mixed development.
Yeah. Okay, so again, we can see, right, 5 years apart, the prices, the gap is about 47%. So just now, going back to Livia and Palette, we are at 18%, right? So this premium is equals to about 29%. That means in the market, buyers are willing to pay this extra 29% for this sea view facing, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I also wouldn't say that like 29% is just a number that we calculate. But if you ask me, I would say 10, 15%, or even 20%. Buyers are willing to pay for this premium, right?
Because they go until like East Coast already. Definitely they want the sea view.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to go East Coast and then we face the pool view. Then pool view everywhere we can also stay, right?
Yeah, that's the unique feature about East Coast, right? Most people all want to see the sea.
Yeah, like the lifestyle and all this. But of course, we will need to see what is the price difference between the pool view and the sea view.
Yeah. Okay, so next what we're going to talk about is how do we identify the sweet spot in Vela Bay. For us, there is some different units that we want to consider or some different facings that we consider. And why we want to come up with this sweet spot is so that buyers will have a very clear understanding which are the better opportunities that we can find in this particular project itself.
Before they make their decision.
So first thing first, we want to identify, there's two steps that we look at. First thing we want to identify is what is the USP that we have in a certain project, right? First thing, definitely we have the sea view.
Sea view.
Right? Because that's why most people are going there for also.
Yeah.
Second one, another important strategy that we're looking is how the developer actually price their units on the launch day itself.
Because on the launch day, then we will have the price. Currently, we do not have the price, so we won't be able to analyze it now. So on the day when the price is out, then we will be able to look at how are the developer pricing their units.
Yeah. So three different ways to look at. First one, of course, we look at the per floor
jump.
Right? So per floor, how much does it increase and is there any certain jump? Second one is view, means the facing, whether the sea view or the landed facing will have any difference. And then of course, the third one is the unit type. So like for example, this unit type price versus that unit type, which one is more worthy to enter dependent on your queue number.
So for this development, we have like 72% of the units that are facing the sea view. So for example, here, this part here, and this part will be all facing towards the sea view. Even this portion here, you get sea view facing. It's just this area will be facing towards the landed and this will be facing towards another development. So 72% of the units are facing towards the sea view.
So first thing first that we want to talk about is the per floor jump, right? So first thing is we want to identify from the developer, we already roughly know that on the 11th floor, there will be a jump. Almost certain, I would say that from the 10 to 11,
there will be a jump.
There will be an increase in price. There will be an increase in price. So how do we take advantage of this? Is for example, today we are looking at 800 plus square feet unit type. That's the first thing. We see the unit type first. Then we see, for example, 12th floor, 13th floor, 14th floor, and then 15th floor. What is the prices over here? If we identify, say, for example, in the 15th floor, there's a jump. then our priority of booking would be definitely from the 14, then down all the way to 11 or 12 floor, right? Then if let's say, for example, you're queuing halfway and you realize that, your
units are sold
already, then we have to identify again, where's the next job? Whether is it 20 floor, 25 floor. But of course, that being said, we also don't want to go to too high floor if possible, because there might be a chance the PSF can be really, really high. And honestly, the sea view don't really make a lot of difference on, like, say, for example, the 20 or the 30 floor, right? It will still be the same facing.
Yeah, as long as I can see the sea, just that you see more of the sea.
See more or less of the sea. So the second one that we want to talk about is the facing. How can we take advantage of the way that the developer price it in terms of the facing, right? First thing first, of course, there's two different facing here. One, like what Joey mentioned, is definitely 72% are all the sea view units, right? The other one is the landed facing, right?
So there will be one project over here that might be blocking the view of some of the units on this side.
So if we look at this thing, right, one sweet spot that we can look at is actually the units over here. Okay, why? Because generally here, like what Joey mentioned, there's a future development coming up. I think there will be a bit of concerns for not only the buyers, but the developers as well. From a developer point of view, generally they might also, be...
It's like some uncertainty.
Yeah, uncertainty.
We don't know what it will come up next, and then whether the building will block us or not. But in a way, from developers' point of view now, there is actually sea view. It's just that we don't know whether is there any things that comes up. Compared with the ones that are outside over here, right? These are all confirmed sea view, because right in front is the ECP already. After the ECP is the East Coast Park, then the sea view. So there will not be any high rise coming up that will block your view. So towards here is the same thing. So all these will be confirmed sea view. The only thing is like this is a little bit of the uncertainty.
Yeah. So if today we are going for maybe an investment unit, over here would be something that is really worth considering, because generally, in our opinion, the developer might, be a bit more sensitive and careful with the pricing over there, right? The other one that we feel that is something worth considering is, of course, the landed facing units. Okay, why the landed facing units? Because definitely there will be a premium here. Definitely it will be one of the most expensive price units there, because we have a full sea view. So I think generally here and here, what we want to understand is the gap in terms of the pricing.
How much is the premium? The sea view lah.
Correct. So for example, if we take like seaside residence, for example, right? The units that are sold facing the sea, they are going at about 2.7 transacted PSF. While the ones that are non-sea facing, the landed facing, are going about 2.5 to about 2.6 PSF, right? So this difference is about maybe a 4% gap in terms of the sea view versus the non-sea view.
4%, I think if you really like the sea view, still can.
It's still worth it, right? It's still worth it. So if today, when we go to this development and we realize that the prices of the sea view versus the landed facing, the difference, maybe for example, say 10%, then definitely it will be one of a good opportunity to go in, because you know that there's definitely a premium that you pay for a sea view.
So it depends on how much more you want to pay for the sea view. Because there's another development by the same developer called the Grand Diamond. Previously, when they launched, right, on the launch day itself, right, they have this 1119 square feet unit, which is a 3+ study. They have units facing towards the pool view. They also have units that is facing towards the unblocked landed view. And the unblocked landed view is like a confirmed view forever one, because they are not going to build high rise over there, so you get that view. But the difference between the price, right, is about almost 200,000 difference.
So the pool view is 200,000 cheaper. Yeah.
So
why we use this example, right? Because generally this developer is by Singhai, and
same developer
also. So there might be a chance that this developer will price it similarly, right? Because this is the way that they do it. Last of all is, of course, a unit type that we want to identify. So how do we do this unit type identification? Is, for example, if today you're looking at, say, a 1+ study over here, right, versus a 2-bedroom that is over here. How we do this is, sometimes when you go, as you queue, right, and this 1+ study starts to go a bit higher in terms of the floor level, your 1+ study price, because of the sea view, might be able to hit a
low floor of a 2-bedroom. Or maybe a high floor 2-bedroom sea view may be able to buy a smaller 3-bedroom lower floor.
And the landed facing some more, right? So this all depends.
We go for the lower floor one.
For
we
the
go
lower
for
floor.
The bigger unit.
Also depends on your overall objective, correct? Let's say, for example, today you say that you are going to buy a own stay unit Of course, this one is within your preference. Then if you're really going for own stay, definitely the sea view is something that you want because you stay also happy. But if today is an investment, then we have to be a bit objective and clear. Like if let's say, for example, the pricing of a 3-bedroom facing the landed on the lower floor is equivalent to a high floor 2-bedroom facing the sea.
Then confirm is buy the 3-bedroom.
I think definitely
already,
we would really recommend to go for the 3-bedroom because number one, of course, it may be better rental also, right? And also it's a more livable space also.
The audience that you sell to in future is also wider.
Will change. And
bigger pool of buyers.
this whole area in terms of Bayshore, generally there are a lot of private buyers around and they are looking for a bigger size unit also in future. So it really depends on overall your objective and why you're buying this unit for. All these factors really have to be very careful because it determines which unit type you buy also. Of course, now we only can wait for the price to come out because without the actual pricing, there is so much that we can do also. So in summary, I think some things that we go through today, the very important stuff would be...
Is there really an oversupply? Actually, not really. You think so?
I feel that, to be very frank, there are a number of units coming in, but whether or not it will affect you, I think that's the thing that we want to understand, right? Like just now we mentioned, if you are looking for a shorter investment time frame, the HDB will not even coincide.
Yeah, because they take like such a long time. They need to have time to build and then plus the MOP, 10 years and all this stuff and before they can sell. It's not really a competitor to us.
Then the other concern would be the private...
Mixed development.
The mixed development or the private residential units coming out, right? Which is probably about, how many? Total is about 3,000, right? 3,000. Then, of course, that is where we talk about what does Vela Bay has that is unique, which is a sea view. And of course, next we talk about the pricing analysis and the difference between the premium of non-sea view unit versus sea view units, right? What is the kind of difference that we are looking at? If you're able to find something within that margin, then definitely it's one of a good consideration in terms of the project itself.
This one really on the day when the price is out, then we can really tell you which one is the better unit to go for.
The actual analysis only on that day. So the last one, of course, is like we mentioned just now, how do we identify the right units to consider on the booking day itself, whether or not it's own style investment. I think number one, that is the most important that we need to be clear first, because when it comes to investment, there'll be a certain different units that we consider. When it's own stay, of course, there'll be another unit that we'll be looking at, whether it's sea view or landed facing Vela Bay itself. Okay, so we have come to the end of our video analysis on Vela Bay. These are our QR code. Please scan us and tell us if you all have any questions or have any upcoming videos that you all want to consider us doing as well.
So if you are considering Vela Bay, right, don't just buy based on emotions and also the brochure or the Showflat nice like that. So if you want to know which stacks are worth considering, so drop us a text because we have already done the analysis already. Okay, I'm Joey-san.
I'm Dylan.
See you in our next video.